Hey guys, it's Twice here, and I have another great CFA match for you. This was between myself and JD, and it was just an incredible fight. This was the second matchup we had between my Blaus and his Chaos Breaker. He wanted to build a deck of his own just to see how much he liked it, and he did a lot, and for a good reason. Chaos Breaker's amazing ability is that even if you're grade stuck, he can give you a card advantage to the point where you can come back from it pretty easily. And although that didn't happen this game, in the first matchup that we had between Blau and Chaos Breaker, that's exactly what happened, and he still won. So this was a really good fight, and we're going to get right into it. However, because of the speed of this game, we're just going to go at 2 times speed today. Alright, so anyway, for whatever reason, it kept saying that he had 15 triggers, but he actually didn't. So I'm going to tell you guys right now that our hands, both of them starting off, were pretty bad. Even when we did our redraws, he was going to be grade stuck, and I just got an abysmal draw, so he's like, alright, let's just throw back our hands and try this again. I was like, alright, that's fine. And getting grade stuck was just rampant at this weekend's locals. It was everywhere. Everybody was getting grade stuck. Myself, like 3 times. I faced an opponent, one of the best guys at the shop, who got grade stuck both games, and it was like, well, there you go. That's one unfortunate problem with the game, but still. So he goes first, and he rides into the Lanthanum, so at least I know he has one less of those. And I unfortunately don't have the best grade 1 ride. I mean, Tough Boy is a pretty good ride anyway, but the 13k swing is nice. And immediately I already have 3 grade 3s in my hand, so early guarding isn't going to exactly be easy, but I don't want that Mobius Breath to hit, so thankfully he doesn't get the trigger right there when I guard from 1 to pass, but I will take the hit from the Radon, as I damage a perfect guard on, which is unfortunate. Only have my Vanguard against his 2 columns there, and as you can see, I don't really get anything from, well, I get the Blau from Morgan Rump, but he's not going to help all too much. And now he's got a full field, one that he's probably going to keep the rest of the game. He goes right into Chaos Breaker, which is nice. I don't have to worry about the break ride. But he still manages to use his resources effectively. He's just trying to lock as many cards as possible. I get the heal, which is going to give me a nice advantage, and then I don't really have to guard for much. So I'm still at 3 damage, and he's only at 2. I run into Mon Blau. Thankfully, I got it. I didn't want to ride into Stern. I don't need the cross ride. I really just need the break ride at this point. So get a perfect guard right there, which is pretty nice. I put him at 3 damage, and I really want to keep him away from that limit break, because I really do need my rear guards. I mean, this is Nova Grappler. It's a very rear guard reliant clan. So he does manage to relock my Morgan Rot, which is unfortunate, so he's probably going to be able to Soul Blast it next turn when I have to hit his Vanguard. Anyway, so he's going to swing at me for 22 right there. I don't know why he didn't give the boost to Chaos Beat. But I'm at 4 damage already, and he swings at my Blau, and I'm really contemplating whether or not I need this thing, so I just decide to sack it because I have enough to replace him anyway. And then I just guard my Vanguard because I really don't want to be at the 5th damage already, and you can see the kind of field advantage that he already has. Although he doesn't have the cards, you know, 1 turn of Limit Break immediately gives him a nice card advantage. So I get the draw trigger there, which is pretty nice, because then I can just, you know, force him to kill his Radon. But he has another one, so it didn't really help all too much. And then he goes to the limit break and then retires 2 of my rear guards. I am in a very bad situation right here. Although I have cards in my hand, my field is very empty. And when he decides to consistently lock my cards like that, for instance, it prevents me from going for the break ride because I need my front row rear guards to use it effectively. So he gets 2 perfect guards there. I didn't see that he had 3 already in his hand. So he was going to be able to guard me pretty well for the next few turns. And I took the 5th damage. Again, I'm in a pretty bad position here. And this time, I mean, I have no front row rear guard. I decide, alright, I just need to try to get whatever cards in my hand I can with Mont Blanc Kluger. So right here, I'm going to decide to play the Clay Doll. I don't have a card to 1 flip, but it really doesn't matter. So swing for 20, he perfect guards it for good reason. And I get the draw trigger, and I get a heal trigger on the draw. So I have guard in my hand, fortunately. And now he's going to be looking to just kind of attack me because he has no open counterblast. And I really am just going to guard everything, plus locking that 1 rear guard won't really be that much to his advantage. So he accidentally draws his cards here instead of drive checking them. He gets a crit for 1 and gives all of it to Chaos Breaker, but then he gets the Chaos Breaker, so it didn't really help him at all. And then I'm able to just barely guard these attacks. Well, not just barely, but, you know, for the purposes of having something to attack next turn with. I don't really have a lot left. So I go for the break ride, call a Mond instead of Jupiter, and then another Jupiter. And right here, I'm going to put some really nice pressure on him. And this is where the Blau shine the best. It's absolutely putting pressure on your opponent. Then I go for the attack, and then I get the break ride off, which is always nice. And I get the critical trigger. Now here I made a mistake. I should have given the power to Jupiter, and I told him I just gave the power to Jupiter, and he said okay. So this is 11 crit 2 to his Vanguard, which he knew he was going to have to guard. And then he takes Jupiter's hit, and I'm like, yes, this is my chance. Go for the attack. So I get off 8 attacks in one turn here. I know he has that perfect guard, but he admitted that right there, that was the biggest mistake of the game, because he just barely guards that last hit. And then he has one open counterblast. So he locks one more of my cards, goes for 22, and I guard for 2 to pass right here. He gets a crit, and then he gets a heal. And he gives it all the Chaos Breaker, and it was like, I could have guarded for no pass, but then I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to guard Lantern, and I didn't do the numbers right. So it was a really good game between me and JD. He was using the deck really well, using his resources really effectively. He knew that any opportunity to lock my rear guards was going to be good, and it was true. Because, I mean, this is Nova Grappler. Chaos Breaker is good against any deck, especially that's very rear guard reliant. But still, it was a really good game, and I can't wait for this card to come out in English, or even the Blaus. So I hope you guys enjoyed. We're gonna have some more deck profiles up for you. Step 13 is coming out in a little bit, so I'm gonna try to build Ethics Buster Extreme as fast as I can, and we'll see you guys next time. So have a great day. Keep card fighting. Goodbye.